It is Monday. I'm here. You're here. We have an amazing, absolutely phenomenal person here with us today. We have in our studio, live and in full effect, we have Principal Gordon. And Principal Gordon, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Teresa?
Oh my gosh, I am doing so good. Thank you so much for coming on. I am ridiculously excited just to be able to have you here. I got to tell you, and I said this to you a little bit earlier, there is something about educators that bring out the best in people. There are some qualities that are in educators that I don't even know what the secret sauce is, but it's so good. You have made such an impact already on my son, CJ. I said he had a conversation with you, I don't know, a few weeks back, and
Yes.
he was just beaming, like, oh, this is what I learned, this is what I did. And,
That's great.
so I'm super, super excited to be able to speak with you today. And again, can't thank you enough for coming on. We'll get a chance to talk about so much of the things that you do, the impact that you make. And I won't keep you on too long because it is 8:30 and I'm sure you got to be up at like 3 or something, right? I don't know, some ridiculous hour. But thank you again for coming on. Principal Gordon, I know you have a first name, right?
Yes, Edward.
But forgive me. So I've worked in schools for a long time, and there is just something about principals. It's hard for me to call them by their first name. I just feel like with the work that you do, with the heart that you give, like 1,000% every day, principal needs to come on in. And it just needs to be present every time. So forgive me. I'm going to keep calling you Principal Gordon. And that's just where we at. So Principal Gordon, can you tell us why or what you do? And then I'm going to ask you why you do it.
No problem. So with 25 years of experience in education as a teacher and then as a school principal, at this period of time in my career, I provide coaching and mentoring for aspiring school leaders. I help them prepare for the school leadership licensure assessment, become certified principal. And there's principals that are receiving some support through the school superintendent assessment, become a certified superintendent. But once they pass the exam, I provide interview coaching and help them with ongoing coaching and mentoring once they're in the position. So I enjoy the work that I'm doing at this stage in my career in life.
Wow. Okay. So you get a chance to really not only influence, coach, mentor the people who are immediately in your district, but now you're just like spanning out, right? It's to anyone who wants to be a leader, a school leader, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's anyone who wants to be a school leader. The test that we work with our aspiring leaders is called the School Leadership Licensure Assessment. And that assessment is required in 20 states to become a certified principal. And also when it comes to the school superintendent assessment, that assessment is required in 13 states. So definitely this work allows me to work with aspiring school leaders across the country. And I got a phone call actually today from a school leader that is looking to prepare for the exam in California. Yes, we have never prepared anyone for a school leadership license assessment for California. It's a different test, but it's the same concepts, but they're just using a different format for the exam. So we're excited about reaching aspiring school leaders in new states and new territories.
Well, congratulations. That just means that things are going, they're going what they're supposed to do. And listen, I'm going to tell you, I got 5 kids. We got 5 kids. At some point, somebody's going to do something, say something in the background. It's all good. We know, right? And listen, I'm just saying, don't worry about it. All right.
Okay.
Listen, I saw, how, parents and educators, they give that side eye. I saw that somebody saying something back there that you like, are you for real? It's all good. It's all good. All right. So I asked you what you did. Now I'm going to ask you why. on God's green earth
Mhm.
would you choose to do this? Now, I don't say it in a bad way. I am such a fan of educators. Obviously, we know the value of educators and leaders, but what made you choose to go into this field and then stay in it and then tell other people, come on in?
Yes. So that's a really great question because it's really, I'm at two stages in my career. Okay.
Okay.
So the first part of it is actually getting into education. For
Mhm.
me, I have a mother who served 35 years in education as a family consumer science teacher at Passaic High School in Passaic, New Jersey. So growing up, watching her as an educator and
Mhm.
also as a supervisor of her department, that really inspired me to one become an educator, but even think further to actually become a supervisor and a leader in a school. So that my mother's modeling has really helped me to initially get into the role of being an educator. But as
Okay.
a life transition to get into this role of coaching and mentoring aspiring leaders, this came about during a time in my life where I actually got terminated as a school principal. And
Mm.
I didn't know and understand, I asked God, why was I so successful in the past? And now I'm having these challenges in leadership. And it was
Wow.
revealed to me at that period of time that, Edward, in the past, future. And I had to learn what a coach
Ah.
was, and I had to learn what a mentor is.
Yeah.
A coach is someone that asks questions to really bring out what's already inside of you and
Mhm.
really allows you to take action steps to move from where you are right now to where you want to go. And then there's
Right.
a mentor, someone that is doing the work that you want to do, aspire to do is 3, 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years down the road,
Yeah.
to be able to guide you and support you. So once I understood and learned what a coach is and a mentor, I got both of them and I got back into leading schools. But still, there was this call in my life, and God revealed to me, Edward, I took you through these situations not to continue to lead schools, but now to step out of that role and be a coach and a mentor for others. So that's what
Okay.
really brought me to this current work and is exciting each and every day.
No, and that makes so much sense, right? I mean, we get these we acquire these skills and talents not just for us, right? That would be really selfish of us just to hold on to the experiences and the wisdom that we get, especially in education. Um, so yeah, that just makes perfect sense. So thank you so much for doing that. And like I said, I have the highest regards for teachers. I think that I got many opinions in this that no one asked me for, right?
Mhm.
But just in the sense of we ask so much of our educators. Back in the day, I think about like when my mom was in school, it was, reading, writing, and arithmetic, right? Just do that and then you sent on your way. But nowadays you're the teacher of all of those subjects. You are auntie, you are uncle, you are counselor, you are therapist, you are coach, you are a mentor, you are so much, and then someone will be the first one to say, my kid ain't learning nothing from you. It's like,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And so again, in the highest regards, I hold teachers and educators and yeah, you guys are just amazing. So thank you
Thank,
so much.
thank you.
So here's a question. So when it comes to leading other people in education, what's one of the biggest challenges, or several? What are the greatest challenges when it comes to taking someone who is in leadership? I'm doing the thing, right? And I'm coming in every day. I'm showing up. The kids are great, right? And then they're not some days. What's the biggest challenge to get them to say, hey, you know what? You have what it takes to step into this leadership role.
Yes. So when you're thinking about educators making this transition, it's really getting into them to really see for themselves that they can actually lead. Okay, and really, it's important for the current school leaders to be able to provide opportunities for them to experience leadership, leading others. It might be in an after school program, might be in a Saturday school program. And that really starts the process for them to really see, yes, I can do this. It's really opened my eyes to this possibility and potential. So many times, these aspiring leaders, educators are seeing the downside of education, the downsides of what the principal is going through, and so forth. And sometimes that can really deter someone from actually even taking on leadership roles or opportunity to get into a leadership.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that, just creating pleasant experiences for educators to experience leadership, to be able to give them an opportunity to think about and consider making this transition to becoming a school leader is really key. And I think that's one of the challenges that current leaders need to really think about to be able to support this ongoing growth of new leaders. But I think another challenge is the fact of educators really understanding the importance and value of coaches and mentors in their
Oh,
life to be able
yes.
to help
Oh
them
my
out.
gosh.
Okay, I believe, it's my mission, my passion, that the awareness that every school leader, superintendent, principal should have a coach and a mentor. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
times, just the way that the mindset is right now is that I can do this on my own. I don't need anyone else. I have enough. Okay, but I will guarantee, if everyone had a coach and a mentor, there'll be less retention of principals and superintendents in our school districts. They'll remain on the job longer and have a longer time period in the same position to really get the results that are in the best interest of the students that we're here to serve. And I believe understanding the value of coaching and mentoring is really key.
So when you have this idea of coach and mentor, right? Which is phenomenal, right? Because really we all need it. We I don't care what
Yeah.
industry that you're in, just to move on with life, okay. I'm off topic just a little second. So back in the day, we had our family, right? We had our mom, dad, uncle, somebody to kind of show us, oh, that's what we should do. Oh, go this way. Go this way. It could be your minister. It could be whomever. You had someone, but we don't always have people in our lives now, and we've got so much more stuff going on. So much more distractions
Yeah.
that can happen, right? And then you throw on top of there, not only do I have 24 students, I might have 31 and still need to work it out. And then I may have some who are in regular ed, and I might have some who are in special ed. I might have some with behavioral issues and some who just need some attention.
Yes.
I might need to do a lesson plan, 3 different lesson plans for one class because people are in different tracks. And then I got to go to professional development, and then I got to take attendance. And there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on. Where do you get a chance to have this mentor, this coach? How do you make it happen?
Yeah.
Oh, and you got to do your job. You got to
Definitely.
do your job as well as
Yes.
that.
As you
How do
were
you make
talking about, you know, in the past, maybe this family support that was happening is not there now. And I think what has happened over the years is just the fact that there is a disconnect in terms of the understanding of the role of a teacher and educator, and
Yes.
with the negative press that's either in our media, on the news, and our family starts questioning and wondering, why do we even want to get into that work and that position, and it's hard to talk to them about what we're going through because they're just staying into themselves and trying to convince us that there's other ways not to do it. Okay.
Right,
But at the same
right.
time, you as an educator are passionate about the work that you want to do. And despite
Yeah.
all the noise and everything else, you still want to push forward and do that. And that is really key. But it's important to find a coach and a mentor that is accessible to you, to be able to give you the time. And many times in our school districts, yes, they'll assign somebody to you to be a coach. Okay, there is a level of coaching that does happen in school districts, but what I'm experiencing by those that are working with me and other coaches that are not in the district is that sometimes it's not easy to be transparent about what you're really going through. Okay.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna need to talk about that because that's for real.
yes, because there's this fear that if I'm really transparent about how I feel and what I'm going through, that it might be incorporated in my observation in my end of the year review.
Right.
So there's people that are just they're holding things into themselves, or because of these bad experiences with a coach, they shut down so much they don't even seek outside coaching.
Yeah.
So when you're working with a third party coach like me, I'm not associated with any school district. Most people, they hire me because they understand the value of coaching and mentoring. And with that, they're fully transparent with me about what they're going through in
Awesome.
the classroom, in the school, even in their personal lives.
Yep.
And with that, I'm able to coach them and bring them to their own awareness and aha moments and really give them action steps to be able to move from where they are to where they want to go. But also, as an opportunity for them to explain what's happening to them from the leadership above. It can be assistant superintendent, superintendent. It can be board members that are hindering their growth. And it's an opportunity for me, by not having a connection with a superintendent, not having to report to them, to be able to give them some strategies to help them really coach up and influence those leaders that are above them so that they can actually do the job that they were called to do and really get the results in the best interest of the students that they're there to serve.
No, that is fantastic. And it is very real, right? Because you do have to kind of put on a face. Because if we said, I say we because it's been so much a part of my life to be in the schools. So I'm just gonna keep throwing myself in
No
there.
problem. And
So
we accept you.
I appreciate that, right? But it's really hard when you go through your day and you get another class that comes in and someone says something and they don't know what you went through the night before. Because what I realized maybe a year after high school, I'm like, my teachers have feelings. Look at that. They actually put on their pants the same way that I do. And, they are real people that have real things going on. And yet they gave me so much, their time, attention, after school, before school, email, all of this stuff. And they kept giving and they celebrated when, when I did great. Our son came home today. He's in 4th grade and he got 100 on his states and capital test.
Right.
And he came up to me. He was like, I got something to tell you. And he was just so excited, right? And it's those moments, obviously as a parent, you're feeling pretty good, but as a teacher, it's one thing if your whole class doesn't pass, right? You're just like, really? Because I put forth the same effort. I did. But when they do, that's the thing that, like you said, your family and friends may not be able to understand that reward. What have I done? How have I transformed someone's mind and their mindset about themselves? And so again, I will always applaud the thing. I don't forgot what I was talking about. I had a question in there. I don't know where it is. I got lost in the sauce, but it's always a thank you. Um,
I do that. And I'm just glad that your son is not on this broadcast and we're doing a competition based on the states and the capitals because he will definitely win BBL.
Listen, I was a couple of them. I was like, wait, what? That's not it. What was it? Is it a Maine? Is it Augusta, Maine?
Oh, okay.
And I
Yeah.
thought it was Burlington or something. I don't know. But
Well,
anyway,
yes, I wouldn't have done as well as he has done today.
no. In fourth grade? What? No, not having it. Not having it. So again, I think we were talking about mindset, right? I think we were talking about, or maybe at least that's where I was going. The mindset that needs to happen with the educator themselves, like because they've got so many different things going on. Can I be a leader? Can I do more? You know, and I think that's where I was going, and I think you answered that question. It's like with experience, with all the different things that happen,
Yeah.
that 5 year that those 5 years count.
Yes.
It does.
Yes, definitely. And I think that, there's a lot of talk about race and gender when it comes to Black males in education. And
Hmm.
I think the probably most recent research is like 1.3% are males in education across this country, which is a very low percentage.
Whoa.
The situation is the fact of, they're even as Black males asking the question, can I do this? Okay. Because in my opinion, and the conversation with others is about the limited support, okay, the limited mentoring for our Black males in education to really stick through some of the challenging times and the challenging experiences to stay in the career field for 5 years or more, and even get opportunities to lead various activities within the schools, to even consider moving into becoming a school leader. And I
Yeah.
think that is one thing that, as a country, as even Black males who are in education and school leaders, we need to be more present to be able to support Black
Right.
males that are in education and be those coaches and mentors to support them, to share our experiences, help them navigate this
Hmm.
education system. Because if you're doing it alone, is not easy. So definitely, we get into situations where there are certain races and genders that are still having some challenges to be visible and then make an impact in education, even in 2024.
Right. And I remember right after this, I have a viewer who has a comment, but I remember years back, is probably, I don't know, at least 15 years back here in Boston, um, they had a campaign looking for Black men to go into education. That support was there. Was, I don't know if it was free, but it was not a whole lot. And I don't know whatever happened, but it's things like that we need it. I know how I felt when I saw people who look like me. I literally went into the job that I talked about for 22 years because she was a young Black woman, and I just admired what she did and how she carried herself and all of those things. It makes such a difference when we see ourselves in these roles. And education, again, should be paid $1 million a year, right? It really should,
Yes.
but we're not there. But I digress. I have Sherry Bridgman. She says, great conversation, Principal Gordon. When coaching principals, what do you tell them about leading today's generation of children who are very different from the past generation of children?
Yes, one thing that when it comes to leading these new generation of children, we have to really take time to really learn about the generation and
Hmm.
really take time to be involved and really ask questions and listen to their music and even watch some of the shows. Some of the shows and music might not be something that you're going to listen to all the time.
Mm,
Every once in a while, you need to listen to what they're listening to. You need to watch what they're watching. You need to learn about their interests. And that's where it was really key. If you're staying in education, you're going to see various transitions
right.
with technology, music, the arts, interests, clothing, dress. And it's important for us to stay connected. Okay. Not the fact that we are Generation X and really in schools and we're only going to listen to certain music and not understand the music that is happening now, the conversations that are happening now. It is really important for us to be intentional about having conversations with the
Yes.
children, but also have a conversation with the parents of this new generation as well to understand exactly what their challenges are in terms of supporting their children are different from the challenges that we have as parents and our parents had with us. So the awareness of the various generations is really key.
Right.
The generations also you can see in schools. There are some schools that have 5 generations of staff members in
Mm,
in the building.
okay. You're right.
Okay? So that is important to understand. So these generational gaps and generational awareness is really key, not only for our connection with the students that we serve, the
Hmm.
parents that we serve, but also for our teachers and staff as well.
You're right. You're absolutely right. So probably Motown probably wouldn't go over so well playing it in the classroom all the time, right?
But it's definitely good to for them to experiencing exposure to it
Absolutely.
is definitely key. Yes.
No, you're right. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. And I know that's a challenge for all of us, not just teachers, but parents, right? It's just kind of like what kind of foolishness is that? We could have that mindset, but if we don't take that time just to really learn and accept and hear what it is that they're trying to express, then we lose out. I'm sure that when rap first came out,
Mhm.
my mom was like, "What? No, turn that thing off, whatever." We didn't listen to the messages, and there was some serious
Yeah.
messages that are happening, that are going on. So you're absolutely right. Gotta okay. I'll pay attention more to what my kids are
Yes.
listening
There's some
to.
serious messages that are happening now, but
That's what I'm saying.
we're listening to the beat so much and not taking the opportunity to slow down and listen to the words that our children are actually listening to. There's a lot of messages that are coming to the music right now that is affecting their mindset and the way they think about life.
Yeah, okay, that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Just one thing that's super important to me. Like I feel like I am like, like Captain America, defender of teachers and making sure that they get what they need, right?
Mhm.
And so I think about our work life harmony with teachers, and we touched upon it a little bit. There's so much that's demanded, that's asked for, and even if it's not asked for, it's just something that the specialness of educators give.
Yes.
How do you encourage them to have a harmony in their work and their personal life, and in every walk that they have to go through? How do you get a chance to influence them in that way?
Yes. So thank you, Teresa, for utilizing the terminology of work-life harmony. And many times in education, they use the phrase work-life balance. And the
Hmm.
first is the reality that there is no such thing as work-life balance. There's not 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of in the school, 8 hours with the family. That is not happening. Okay.
Yeah.
Work-life harmony is really important. And the concept that I really coach my aspiring current leaders about is the fact that you have to understand that when you are at work, you need to be at work. Okay. And when
Hmm.
you are at home, you need to be at home. And you need to be able to model that as leaders for your staff. And so
Mm-hmm.
usually a lot of staff members will have uh, principals will have like a Sunday evening email that goes out to their staff. I encourage them to actually write something that they've done with their family over the weekend. It might be going to the beach, going taking a walk, or actually reading a book. It's important for you to model that. Yes, Principal,
Nice.
when he's not in the office, he's taking time to go out with his family or to read a book, and that's what I should do. That will help them to understand that. Okay, and that's really key. And this is a conversation that needs to happen with your staff as well as with your family as well. Okay. So
Right,
family
right.
understands that when I'm in the school building, unless there's an emergency, I'm at work. Okay. And we are focused on that. And when I'm
Mm-hmm.
home, I'm going to be focused on your day and everything that's happening there. And it's also
Mm-hmm.
for the staff to understand it as well, that when I leave the office, yes, you can send an email, but probably for the most part, I'm not going to read it until the next morning. And you have to model that. Okay. And that is really,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody has to understand that as you're moving forward, that if you don't, it's going to cause some health challenges for you. Okay. Imbalance in your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cause some tension at home. It's going to
Right.
affect, and when you're at work, you pop all these challenges, things, distractions that come to you. If you're in the classroom and you're thinking about things that are going on at home, it affects your performance as a teacher and as also as a
Absolutely.
school leader. Okay. You go into school because things are happening at home and you're blowing up at everybody, staff, parents, and they didn't do anything. Okay. And it's only
Right.
8 a.m. So it's really important to understand harmony, understand wherever you are, put your full energy behind it and stay focused on that. But when you walk out of that school building, you're at home. And when you go in the morning, you're at school. And that is something that you got to continue to work, develop, and communicate with all stakeholders on both sides.
Right, right. And I love that word continual. Because it's not a one and done. It's definitely not in your first year. Um, because you're learning the craft of it. And so there's that time period where you may have to put in a little bit more, effort into the lesson plan or, the curriculum or things like that. There are going to be times you're going to learn something new. There's going to be something different. You're going to rise up in leadership. And so there are definitely going to be times, but figuring out, like, again, as teachers, you go into this, as educators, you go into this not for the money, right? That's not going to happen. But for the reward of really being able to have that incredible influence on the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. Like you said, there could be 5 generations in that building, and your sphere of influence could be on all of those 5. So it is, again, kudos to you guys. I really, really appreciate it. But listen, it's getting late. You need to go to sleep.
Yes.
But before I let you go, uh, super, super important. There are going to be people who want to do this, who want to rise up in leadership and education, who want to grow and to find a mentor and to find a coach and to, and they may not know where to go. Give me a solution. Where
Yes.
should they go?
They can directly email me at Coach E.W. Gordon, the number 2 at gmail.com. I will definitely welcome to have a conversation, learn more about you and where you are at this period of time in your career and your goals. And here at Gordon Leadership Academy, we're definitely here to support you on your journey.
I love that. And you don't have to be, you're in New Jersey,
New
you
Jersey.
said?
Yes.
So you're in New Jersey, but I love like how you opened up. You're talking to someone in California. I think you talked about someone in Nigeria or from Nigeria. Like, you listen, you all over the place. The world gets to be a little smaller with technology. And so thank you so much for providing your direct email. And what I would say to anyone who has ever stepped foot in the educational realm, thank you for what you do. Thank you for all that you are. Thank you for raising them beautiful children and sending them to school with hats and gloves and books and all that stuff, because it takes a village.
Yes.
And so thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Principal Gordon, you're amazing. Keep doing your amazing work. Have an amazing night. Get some rest.
I will. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right. Good night.
Good night.